Today I'm going to talk on Plato. One of the greatest thinker of all times is Plato. And in UPSC syllabus, for those who are opting for philosophy optional, it is being seen that the question from Plato is being asked quite several times. There are a lot of things that can be talked about Plato, and this short video is going to talk about the theory of forms and ideas. And in the philosophy fraternity, there is always a debate about what exactly is reality and what is specifics and what is universal. And Plato, of course, always stand out to be very, very different. And it was English philosopher called Alfred North Whitehead who said that the footnotes of Plato, which basically says that the entire European philosophy is based on series of notes of the Plato's work. Now, let's understand what Plato talked about and he meant when he talked about the theory of forms or ideas. Now, when you talk about idea or an idealism, a particular concept is there in the world which is very difficult to conceive or perceive, and they exist in certain kind of certain realm. It exists, and you don't know exactly what is that particular realm all about. And there comes certain kind of a philosophy, and take an example of a sculptor who is trying to make a particular kind of a thing, an object out of a marble, and he has certain idea in his mind, and he may get a marble and he will take a hammer and he will chisel, and he will get that particular shape, that particular object. But probably that object that comes out is a representation of the idealistic idea that actually exists somewhere in the world, and maybe somewhere in the space, somewhere in the mind, and we are not very aware of that. And what actually gets created in the marble is maybe an imperfection. That idealism is something that is missing. And it's one of the dialogue of Plato called Demiurge, who was considered as an architect who got the ideal world and the matter world together. Then everything actually gets created. But Plato never mentions how where the Demiurge actually originates and came from. So there is always a dichotomy. So, and there's always a debate about what is reality and what is specifics and what is universal. But definitely Plato's concept about idea or the form is something which is somewhere in the space and somewhere in the world, and that is something which is ideal. And take another example, like the white sheet, for example. Now, what is exactly white? And in the field of consciousness research, there is something called qualia. Now, what is white to me may not be white to you, or may not be white to some other third person. So that actually varies. So something which is grayish can be white to somebody. Something which is yellowish can be white to somebody. Exact whiteness exists in the ideal form and in the conceptual form. And when you are trying to create something white, now white like milk, or white like bread, or white like rice, now that can be a lot of variation. But exactly white is something that we cannot produce. So the material world that we actually produce is basically the copy of the ideal world, and the ideal world is something which is perfect and it is absolutely ideal. And somebody or some people considers Plato as an idealist or ideist. Probably I think this is something which is a game changer what Plato has given us. And in today's world, in the contemporary world, we say that idea can change your life, and that idea is something which is infinite. And probably all companies are trying to work on the idea, and they're trying to create a new product, and this is infinite. So Plato is very fascinating. Be in touch. More videos will be coming through soon.